Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and you've heard it here, you've heard it there, you've heard it everywhere. Epstein didn't kill himself. And I want to get into the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between about the fact that this meme is taking over. Because, full disclosure, before I get into everything, I'm not a huge meme guy. I don't spend my time scrolling through Instagram, as I don't have one. I have one by accident, but I've never accessed it. I don't do that on Facebook. Go to my Facebook pages. I really rarely post anything there. I feel like although some people, look at it as a new form of communication, or it's a joke, or it's entertainment. Yeah, it is all those things, but I think it can be detrimental posting 40 memes a day. But the fact that everything has become a meme. So now it's not just a graphic, it's a short video, or it's someone just saying something on television. For instance, when people used to say, for instance, question 9/11 or 9/11 was an inside job, it wasn't categorized as a meme. But now the Epstein didn't kill himself meme is pretty much taking over. And here we're going to get into it. Here's a GQ. Why Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself started trending almost 3 months after his death. And this article, it goes along a lot of the mainstream narrative. It's from about a week ago. And it talks about the Navy SEAL Mike Ritland, who said it on the end of Fox. And look, he doesn't want this story out of the news cycle. And honestly, I don't know that that's necessarily a meme. It does kind of suck, the quality that somebody got this up there, and that's what it was in there. I don't know that matters in this day and age when you have such a short clip. But it did get the conversation going. But at the same time, it turns everything into a joke. Trevor Noah, right before this, cracks a joke on Hillary Clinton and Chelsea Clinton while they're on this political tour. And Hillary's out there now saying she's under enormous pressure to say whether she's going to run or not in 2020. I think there's a good chance she's going to run, unfortunately, because there's just no other candidate out there that looks good. No one's voting for Elizabeth Warren, a.k.a. Grandma Oatmeal. Now, it also shows Rogan and some of the memes that he's been posting about the matter. And the memes are everywhere. They're everywhere. There's road signs out there. Now, I'm seeing that clicking. Everybody's doing it. It's to the point where, Business Insider did this article. And, they talk about how there's a distrust for the elites. The predator class, as I like to call them, as there should be, as he was associated with a bunch of them. And it gets into his connections with Bill Gates and how, Gates didn't really respond well, how he was hanging out with this guy after he'd already been convicted. But people like Chelsea Handler and Stephanopoulos and many others in the media were doing the same thing after the fact. And if you don't think a lot of these people knew before the fact, I think you'd be very, very ignorant, okay? And we've gone over, again, this channel, and well before I had this channel, back when I was working for InfoWars in 2009, 2010, I was talking about this. I've been talking about this for a decade plus. Now, the MSNBC, again, it becomes a meme, but it's really someone just interjecting the fact that everything out there is this dishonest card game, right? I said it from the beginning. If we can bring Epstein and his cohorts to justice, this shows that maybe the deep state can be taken down. The predator class, this national security state that we've built, where a certain class of individuals basically has impunity. And we couldn't. We couldn't keep this guy from dying. And, the idea now with all the evidence out there with Baden saying, I've never seen this in 50 years. 2 breaks alone, that would suggest homicide. He had 3 breaks, 2 different security guards being asleep at the same time, 2 separate cameras that we know of not working. I mean, come on. So, I guess that's the good thing about this, that it has hit pop culture where, bands are putting it up at the end of their sets. Epstein didn't kill themselves. And there's actually, if you see the thumbnail, there's actually a brewery that has now named a beer, Epstein didn't kill himself. That's how far this has gotten. That's my fear, okay? And now we're going to get into some of the actual news out there regarding the Epstein case, because there are some developments, right? For instance, I went over that Express article earlier this week that says that the FBI is about to arrest 4 of his co-conspirators. And I haven't seen that reported or followed up anywhere else. I'm going to show you that article in a minute. But, as you can see it behind me, Epstein didn't kill himself on a whole brand of beer. That beer is going to sell well. I ran a bar. I guarantee that is going to be, no matter how it tastes, it's going to be a good selling beer. Here's the issue. I've got Jeffrey Epstein. I'm sorting this by date. I'm looking for actual news and breaks. And most of the scandals are now, the media's covered up the ABC scandal. This woman also, stated that she thinks he killed himself, or didn't kill himself, that he was murdered 100%. No kidding. But really, the majority, and this is on page 4, I think, of the search results, the majority of the stuff out there, you can't really find. It's all tabloid. It's John McAfee thinks Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. Well, no shit. Look, in one of those articles, I think it's the Insider article here, they talk about how half of Americans still think that they're lying about 9/11, right? And 2016 poll and surveys, or here it is right there, suggests that 5 and 10% of Americans don't believe in the moon landing. They always throw that in there or something else, right? But right here, just over half of Americans believe that the U.S. government is concealing information about 9/11. Of course. But the Epstein thing is almost 100% because it breaks the veil. It's so in your face. And it shows, that there's dislikable figures that are connected to Epstein on both sides of the aisle. And that kind of breaks through the false left-right paradigm most people are in. So Fox News is now really playing up on, the ABC blackout, how, other networks like CNN aren't even going to touch it, right? Look, Fox, in 2016, you had all this information. All you guys had this in 2010, 2011. You could have been doing a lot more. There were bits and pieces in all of your media outlets, okay? But all the big stories, whether it was ABC and Amy Rohrbacher, who got caught on a hot mic, all those places were covering this up. You're not innocent either, and that's what bothers me about this story. Meanwhile, Dershowitz is countersuing Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Now, here's the thing. I believe it was Dershowitz who had already filed things about her. It wasn't necessarily a defamation suit, but eventually she had to come out and sue him for defamation because he was going all over calling her a liar. There is some questionable material going on with Dershowitz. And by the way, I think this is it right here. There's a back and forth with Dershowitz and this Fox News host. It's rather tame. He calls Roberts a sleazy woman. Look, Dershowitz is a pretty sleazy person. Let's be honest. I can't defend Alan Dershowitz. I've done some pretty extensive stuff on him, his connection to WikiLeaks and Assange, his meeting of Assange. He is a complex character, but at the end of the day, when you look at Maria Farmer and other people's testimony, I can't defend the guy. It is shameful that ABC News and CBS are pushing or are punishing the Epstein leaker. They supposedly still can't even find him. Find him or her. The person they fired isn't it. And now more people are suing the estate of Jeffrey Epstein. Maria Farmer, who I just mentioned, who's actually one of the first victims of this. She was an of-age victim, but her story is pretty horrific. Back in the late 90s in New York and in New Mexico, and she went to the police in New York and the FBI. So in the late 90s, at the very least, they were aware of this behavior, okay? So this is Annie Farmer, and I believe that this is Maria Farmer's little sister, and she was actually molested underage. Okay, so she's followed suit. Again, three more women are seeking a cut of his estate. And remember, they haven't even gone into Zorro Ranch officially. Come on. So this is Maria Farmer. I've done extensive videos on this. It was in Les Wexner's estate where she was sexually assaulted, where she was held against her will. And again, we went over the Dershowitz thing. But once again, there is this lone article from a couple days ago where they have a source, presumably in law enforcement or the Department of Justice or the FBI, that's saying they're going to do this. Federal prosecutors believe they now have enough evidence to arrest alleged co-conspirators who recruited and groomed underage girls for the pedophile tycoon and powerful friends. The source said they are ready to ask a judge to issue arrest warrants, which will be acted on immediately. The FBI will also seek search warrants on any properties which the suspects are residing. This is the first major step in an investigation that now spans several countries where Epstein, through his closest aides, had teams of procurers scouting for fresh victims. We talk about this. It's actually in the indictment in New York. The Enterprise, as they call it. Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, is not among those whom the police are seeking arrest. I doubt it would be. It's probably, the Kalins, the Groffs. But then again, they may have worked with them. There's so many people involved, it's really murky. Ghislaine Maxwell is one of the obvious choices there. Nadia Marcinkova. Let's see. Virginia Giuffre, formerly Roberts, gave an interview to NBC News last month in which she described the prince as an abuser. Yes, I know. We all know the picture is real. It's there. All right. The source said the FBI is targeting those suspected of involvement in recruiting underage girls in America, Britain, and Brazil. Does that mean, Jean-Luc Brunel, Claude Hadid? Those guys were in his black book. Brunel had a very close relationship with him. So, again, here it is. The source added, I doubt they will be offered the opportunity of a plea bargain based on the gravity of the offenses and the profile of the case. So I have not seen this reported anywhere else but the Express. It is an exclusive. No one else seems to be talking about it. Guys, if you like this video, now's the time to thumbs it up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Join the Burmese Brigade. Share this on social media. Remember, doing it 3 to 7 times a day on various subjects. Epstein, NXIVM, Assange, Syria, Bilderberg, Bohemian Grove, facial recognition, biometrics, Conor McGregor. We're doing Mixed Martial Mindset with John Fitch once a week as well. So please give me that subscribe. Remember, I am a documentary filmmaker, guys. You can see all my documentaries for free on this channel. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture. And I'm doing it with your help. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me, guys. Without your help, I would not be able to do this. So consider supporting my GoFundMe. There's nothing secret here. There's no Patreon. There's no Subscribe Star. There's no levels. There's just me trying to get to the bottom of some of the most nefarious things going on around us in this crazy mixed up world. I love you guys. Thank you so much, Flick Off, for that super chat and the dancing sticker. Love you guys, and I'll see you all on the flip side.